Okay, so that was just music from the Peacemaker. If you saw the first 3 episodes, that's the intro to the Peacemaker show on HBO Max. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be discussing just a review of the first 3 episodes of Peacemaker. Starring John Cena as Peacemaker, Freddie Strong as Vigilante, and so on. and also we got a cameo from Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, of course. So, wow, this show is hilarious. That's like the first thing I want to say about this show. So, again, spoilers for the first 3 episodes. Wow, so we basically start off with a recap of what happened with the Suicide Squad movie that we got on HBO Max. Again, I think it was last year. So we picked up where we left off and what happened at the end of the movie with Peacemaker and with him, killing... them ended up killing that guy from Argus, and basically it just recaps the ending of Suicide Squad and how kind of just picks up with John Cena Peacemaker at the hospital, healing, from his injuries from the movie Suicide Squad. So, this show, it's crazy. I wasn't sure how this was gonna go. However, John Cena, this role fits John Cena as Peacemaker. I can't see anyone else probably playing this role better, at least for right now, than John Cena, because he's really playing this role really well, and it just really fits his personality, and this show is just really hilarious, like I said in the beginning. And so he, the first funny scenes that we get is we get a little bit of banter with him and the janitor, and the janitor, of course, is Hispanic, and he just talks about how, a racist superhero Peacemaker is, and he of course tries to defend himself, saying he kills a fair amount he tries to kill bad people, but he tries to kill a fair amount of white people, but of course he kills more people of color and more Hispanic people than white people. And basically the banter just ends with him saying that he'll kill more white people. At the end of the day, it's none of it is really good. None of it is really good at the end of the day. However, at least, the janitor now knows that he'll try now to kill more bad white people than people of color and Hispanic people. I love that banter between him and the janitor. And this was at the hospital, and so he's set free to leave, and he's like, oh, I'm free, and he's not gonna go to prison. And then he gets to his house, he lives in a trailer, and it's all covered in red, white, and blue, the American, not red, white, no, red and blue. So basically the color of his uniform. So yeah, we see him, and he's back, he thinks he's free. And then, the people from Argus that disobeyed Amanda Waller from the Suicide Squad movie, they show up with a new guy in charge. Amanda Waller is still working with Suicide Squad. However, this team, let's just call them Team X, because they kind of parted ways from Amanda Waller's and started their own team, and they they did capture Peacemaker in his trailer, and they bring him over and talk to him about this new mission and how mission the butterfly. And we don't know what the butterfly is, and John Cena doesn't even know, the Peacemaker doesn't even know what butterfly is. Like, what is this new mission, and what are butterflies? And basically, we get like the whole group and people that are working with this new guys. They just talk about this new mission, and they want to go after their target, and basically Peacemaker just like goes off and has to think about, and read the documents of the target. This basically has really no other choice again, because the guy mentions he still has that chip from Suicide Squad, and if he doesn't follow their orders, we'll just blow him up. So I still feel he's still part of Suicide Squad, even though they're separated. I just still, especially either the end of episode 2, we get the reveal that Amanda Waller's daughter, spoilers, Amanda Waller's daughter is part of this group, this new team away from suicide, made from people from that worked with Argus. One thing I love about the show, mentioning Argus again, is I'm a huge Arrow fan. And I just remember John Diggle, all the time they bring up Argus, it's like I'm thinking John Diggle and his wife, because they used to work at Argus. Anyway, that's a little bit besides the point, but I just love the Argus references. Anyway, so he goes off on his own, thinks about it, and oh no, they actually meet for dinner, but before that he goes off to pick up his best friend, of course, because he can't go alone on this new mission without his best friend, which is at his dad's house. And we see his dad, and his dad is not really the best person. We see where, we get Peacemaker to get some of his personality from. And his dad is really not really impressed by him, but because they're having dinner, Peacemaker tells all about the mission from the Suicide Squad movie, and he's just not really impressed by him. And then we see him pick up his best friend, his sidekick, Eagly. Oh, his sidekick is an eagle, his best friend is an eagle. That's another one favorite part, and especially that hugging scene when that was so cute when he was getting him from the garage, and then the eagle started to wrap his arms around him, and John Cena as Peacemaker is kneeling down, and the eagle's just wrapped his wings around him. It's and John Cena's Peacemaker tells his dad, "Oh, go get the camera," and the dad is no, doesn't care at all. And just thinks he's just a weird person, having his best friend / sidekick be an eagle. It's what? WTF? So, yeah, his best friend sidekick is an eagle. And then after that, he picks up his best friend, then he goes off. Oh, and also that's where he gets, from his dad's house, that's also where he gets his suit, suit's new helmet that he has, and that we find out later on in the episode that has superpowers, that his dad has designed. And he's designed many more of his super powered helmets. Anyway, that's where, after he gets his eagle and talks to his dad and gets his new helmet, her special capabilities, we lead off to the dinner with, this new gang away from Argus. It's an interesting group of people, with, it's an interesting group of people, I have to say. Let's start off with Emilia. I think her character is interesting. She's the blonde girl on the team. Every team needs a bad blonde girl, of course. And we don't really see her in action until that bar scene when a guy's when she goes alone to the bar to have a drink, and a guy tries to hit on her, and then his best friend comes up and says tries to start trouble with her, and she just beats the guy up, and it's anyone else have trouble? And then John Cena's Peacemaker starts instantly in love with after she beats up this guy. It's I just love the fact that Peacemaker was just flirting with her, and she wants nothing to do with him. So far she's just she's just here to do the mission and nothing else. She has one focus, is the mission. And then we have, we also got a look at Freddie Stroma, which at that point at the dinner, who's staring when Peacemaker is having dinner with the, this gang of people that worked, they used to work with that, Amanda Waller or Argus. Here's the guy at the restaurant with the geeky glasses. And I just love that scene when he walking out of the restaurant, and he was just happy that Peacemaker was back, and he started to do that little dance. That was hilarious. A geeky, and which later in the next few episodes find out that he's a vigilante and he's wanted for a bunch of killings. So yeah, and then we have that dye-beard guy. The dye-beard guy, John. The one that when he called that woman straight cheeks, and they're explaining that's not appropriate to do to women. It's and then he was I could say it to John, okay. I'm talking about, and then he was saying as they were explaining about sweet cheeks, a lot into talking about talking about tits, and then he was talking about how John you have small little tits, so I just thought that was hilarious, that dinner banter. And that's how and then John's is, this, big guy with a beard that works with them, with this new gang. He was in the Suicide Squad movie, that one of the people that disobeyed Amanda Waller. So I just think the past 3 episodes with his character was funny, because the banter between him and John Cena's Peacemaker is hilarious, because the running gag between the both of them is his beard that is dyed because it looks different, has a different color than his hair. I just thought that was hilarious. I want to get to Latoya. Latoya, that's which later we find out that how she got part of this. She was in Suicide Squad movie. She's new, and she says she worked with Argus and has experience. However, later we find out that she's actually Amanda Waller's daughter, and she's secretly spying on Peacemaker and on this team, and just secretly telling her mom information. So she's kind of like, a double agent, I want to call her. A double agent. A black, gay double agent. I love the diversity already. How she has a wife. Like, love the diversity. And then we have Clemson, the new leader of this new gang. Kind of like the Amanda Waller of this new team of people. And I don't know, he's, I think, worked with Argus too, but he's done, oh no, he hasn't worked with Argus, he's just done some bad, things in his past, secret bad things that we don't know yet, so I don't know if I trust Clemson just yet. So, past 3 episodes though, he's just, he's really secretive, and he doesn't really express emotion that much, and when he does, it's just, he doesn't say it, and he's just, trying to, express his emotions better. So, that's basically this new team. They have dinner, and after that, that's when he gets their, documents. And then after that, Peacemaker goes to the bar, and like I said, he flirts with, Amelia. She beats up this guy. He's in string love, but Amelia wants nothing to do with Peacemaker. Her focus is only the mission. And then he finds another girl, and they have sex, basically. Because he's just trying to find someone to hook up after being in prison for a long time. And then after that, it turns out the woman that he hooked up with was a monster, and was one of that had a butterfly that was infected by the butterfly, an alien, I think, and she tries to kill him. And the whole episode ends with him blowing. That fight scene though was a good fight scene. He just wasn't, basically shows how Peacemaker was caught off guard, and he really was fighting for his life, and then eventually he made it to his car, put the helmet on, and blew the woman up in pieces. And then the police start coming, and that's basically how the episode ends. So yeah, that's basically the first episode, which leads into the second episode with them trying to get away and out of it was like an apartment of the woman that he had sex with that ends up turning into a monster alien creature, and that tries to kill him, and he's trying to get his stuff out of her apartment. And also then the team, Clemson and John, is trying to erase the license and information on his car online, so he can't get traced back to Peacemaker. However, John made the decision, Clemson was in the bathroom, that to change it to Peacemaker's dad, so the police would go after his dad and not Peacemaker. And then once Clemson found out about that, he was, of course, upset, because that was not the plan. John just went on his own agenda. And just made his own decision while, Clemson was in the bathroom. And it was just so funny, the banter between them after he did that, which was like, am I supposed to text you, like, while I'm in the bathroom about making a decision? So, not a good decision on John's part. And then, going back to the apartment, he calls Amelia, and Amelia gets Victoria to drive to the apartment so they could get Peacemaker out. And Peacemaker's, taking his time trying to get all this stuff. The police are already there, doing their detective work, trying to figure out what happened with the explosion and everything. And then they see Peacemaker, and then that's when this whole basically episode is really about him trying to escape the apartment while gathering his suit and clothes. Also, he takes his time to get, some, some of the women's, CDs. She had like rock albums that he wanted to keep, and then some toys that she had that he was trying to, I don't know, get some essential items. He did like a little shopping while trying to get out of the apartment, and of course the police saw him and then were chasing him down all over the apartment. And that's when he goes into this apartment with this two couple who this woman ends up flirting with Peacemaker as he's like tying them up, and her husband is like, are you trying to like flirt with this guy who's trying to like tie us up and all that? And this random guy, I just thought that was so funny, and just the banter between this woman and her husband as she's kind of like flirting with Peacemaker. It's just okay, this is just a little bit crazy. It's like you wouldn't do that at all as a random guy breaks into your apartment and was chased by the police and you're flirting. And just, their relationship, this woman and that guy relationship is probably over after this, because obviously the woman isn't happy with this, with her husband, that she's flirting with Peacemaker. Anyway, it was a good time spent though on the episode, because it was fun watching him trying to escape, and then all the time trying to, as he was jumping down to each floor and outside the apartment building, he kept on like falling and on his back, and it was funny because like he has, in the first episode it got revealed that his back is like injured and the doctor was like, you need to be careful, and of course he's not being careful and like jumping down outside the apartment building trying to escape, and he's just basically always landing on his back, and he's like, knows he's in pain. And then we also, I want to say, we got the actor, if you watch Riverdale, we got the actor who played Hal from Riverdale as one of the policemen in the show, which was surprising. I was not expecting him to be to be one of the characters in the show, so I like that, little character, that actor cameo. Anyway, going back to the show, Amelia and Latoya show up, and Peacemaker finally does escape the building, and then they of course have to figure out why that woman wanted to kill her, and then Peacemaker revealed that he left the documents out, and the woman saw the documents about the butterfly mission, and that's when she decided to kill him. So yeah, still don't know much about the butterfly and what this mission is really all about in this episode. However, it just leads them to Latoya having to bribe this couple. I love that banter between the banter in the show. There's always this bunch of banter between all the characters, and I just think a lot of good comedic moments do come from this. With Latoya and Clemson, as she was like explaining, like, do you want me to bribe them, and how she was like miming, like, do you want me? Like, are we playing? He was like, are you playing charades? I don't know what you're doing. It's like, I don't want to say it out loud. Like, bribe? It's like, yeah. So, yeah, and then we have the second episode is basically where we meet of course Vigilante, because after everyone is in this new team is angry at him after he, was stupid enough to leave the documents out in the open when he was hooking up with this random woman and just completely messed everything up. And he was just he needed an old-fashioned cry. And of course, that's when, surprisingly, Vigilante shows up and it's like, hey, what's going on? And basically, to make him feel better, we also see in this scene when Vigilante shows up his emotional side, Peacemaker's emotional side, that, he kind of does care what people think. And then, to help him feel better, Vigilante just shows that, they're killers. And so they just go out into woods shooting random objects and just go shooting. And, that's when basically the episode ends with Peacemaker. We see Peacemaker in bed with a woman, and then also with Vigilante. And then one of the objects that he picked up from that woman's apartment that he hooked up with in the first episode was this gray object with symbols on it that when he tried to open it up, when he was in bed with this woman and Vigilante, it ended up opening up to kind of like a toy spaceship kind of, kind of looking like the Death Star of Star Wars. That's the best way to describe it. And it lit up, so he's a little bit shocked and doesn't know what it is, and we don't even know what it is. What is this butterfly mission going on? Episode 3, and we learn a little bit more about the butterfly and then about their next target, and it's this family. And now Clemson says these people are infected by the butterflies and that they're all butterflies and kind of like monster alien creatures like that woman from the first episode, and you might have to kill them, even the kids. And that's when we see that he doesn't, he kind of doesn't want to kill kids. And when they went on this mission, that's also where we meet the guy from the intro that's at the end, that John Cena holds up on his shoulder. That's one of the superiors protecting this family, this alien infected family, by the butterflies. And he's this, wearing the guy in the green suit, that small, the amount of small jokes that John Cena's Peacemaker has made throughout the episode, it's if I had a penny for every small joke that Peacemaker has cracked when he was trapped by that guy. And then that cheater scene. I know I'm jumping around at this point, but I'm just trying to talk about my favorite scene, that cheater scenes when he was just throwing the Cheetos at him. It's dang, what are in Cheetos? Cheetos are sharp. I didn't know Cheetos could be used as a weapon. So, and then the scene with, because basically, Vigilante and Peacemaker both get trapped by that guy in the green suit, because Peacemaker was hesitant to kill the family, so Vigilante takes over and shoots the mom, and then the 2 kids, and then almost tries to get the dad, and then that guy shows up, and then they end up trapped underground. The team then, Amelia and Clemson trying to find him, along with Latoya, and while John is still in the truck, looking over and trying to protect everything, in truck. So, the whole thing goes, he's the father that's, the alien infected monster father that's infected, tries to get information. So he puts the car jumpers onto, basically the bottom, pants, where vigilante, and, that area that you don't, that guy area, you don't want to get hurt. And he puts, jumper cables and tasers, basically just electrocutes Vigilante and tries to get Peacemaker to talk, and which doesn't really do anything because he's like, I'm gonna stay silent. I don't care. I don't care if Vigilante gets electrocuted. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. And Vigilante is like, maybe you can give him a little bit of information because he's like getting electrocuted, and his junk they clipped the jumper cords basically to his junk, and it's like his junk is getting burned off at this point, and it's like, and then the guy is like, maybe I'll just peel one of your toes off. And then of course when he tries to do that, he's like he's struggling to do it, and that's when while all of this is happening, Peacemaker's like getting out of the rope that he got tied up in, and then breaks free, and then that's when he fights this guy, the alien monster father, and Latoya, Amelia, and Clemson, basically use a device to blow up to get inside the cave, and then John crashes the car that the green little dude tries to get in to escape, and we think he's dead. Going back, Peacemaker and Vigilante fighting, and they ended up killing that guy, and everything turns out well, right? No, so the episode ends with that little guy that was protecting, that alien monster father. I think he's dead, but then got infected by the alien. And then we see the butterfly, why this mission is called Butterfly, because it's like butterfly creatures that infect, I think, humans, that get inside them and infect them, turn them into, and then control them. We see on the computer that in the truck that John was in, that, more people are getting infected by these alien butterflies. So I think it's like an alien invasion that this mission is all about. So if that's basically kind of a recap of the first 3 episodes of Peacemaker. I needed a moment there. Peacemaker. Insane, crazy, weird series, but everyone character is hilarious. There's a lot of comedic moments, dark comedy, racist comedy, you name it. It's all in this show. Definitely one of my top new favorite DC shows out right now. And I'm excited for the rest of the season. It looks good. I think I did see an article that the big bad for this first season, or for the series, could be Peacemaker's dad, the White Dragon. Remember when he got caught, his dad got caught, not caught, but because of what John did, arrested by the cops, and went to prison, and these white guys he's kind of like a cult leader, and his name is White Dragon. So I think he's definitely, maybe could be a villain for this first season. So that's Peacemaker. Wow, this show is nuts. I think that's the last thing I'll leave it at. Okay, talk to you when the next episode comes out. So, also please like and subscribe to my channel for more movies and TV shows.